Welcome to Locals Doing Local Things with my guest, Yadira Aguayo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kings and queens, and everything in between, damas y caballeros, bienvenidos to another episode of this series, Locals Doing Local Things. I'm your host, Juan Daniel Avila, and I'm here with the Yadira, the wizard, the fitness wizard herself. Yadira, how are you doing? I know we're up early right now, but how are you? ¿Cómo estás?
I'm good. Just hanging in here, getting this morning started with my day. And yeah. And you?
Man, I'm telling you this. It used to be a struggle for me waking up this early, but it's kind of getting motivated when it's a podcast like this. I get this little rush that I don't even think of it. That's my caffeine because I've been off caffeine for like a month and a half now.
Oh,
So
damn.
yeah, so it's like a different. My body feels different. Obviously, when you get off something, when you stop eating certain things or whatever, you
Yeah.
feel different, and it's a quick change. I'm like I said, a month into it, and it's definitely impacted me in a good way. I also give it up for Quaresma. So um,
Okay.
that's did you give it anything up for this Quaresma as well?
No, I didn't.
No,
No.
the gym obviously you're never gonna give that up now, right?
Oh no, that's not no. That's not an option.
So for those that don't know you, what can you tell us about you? Like, let's say we didn't really know you. What could you tell us? Who you are, what you do for a living, pretty much?
So for a living, I'm a personal trainer, and then I do online coaching. And the training I can either do virtually, or I go to people's houses, or they can come to me as well. And I also sell my bands, my workout bands, and I'm temporarily working at H&R Block as well as a receptionist.
Nice, nice. So you got your hands busy there. And when you say
Yeah.
virtually, I'm guessing you do like Zoom calls and you train people
Uh-huh.
through there.
Yeah, so it's through Zoom. I usually train a couple clients through there as well.
That's cool. That's cool. You're utilizing this. I'm sure that didn't stop you from this pandemic. Having you to slow down, or did it slow you down at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like in the very beginning, it was super slow and like trying to adjust to the changes. But then as I started to adjust to it more, I started to use the virtually and seeing that as an option, or like going to their house, or do focusing more online as well. But then that's also when I started launching, that's when I launched my bands too.
Oh, okay. That was like a pandemic
Yeah.
status. Okay. Yeah, I thought those were along for a bit more, but tell us about that process. How did you get those bands working? Do you have like a brand doing it for you? How did you make that happen?
So I had my friend help me out with the bands, because he's very tech savvy with that, and it was just I had thought about it before this whole thing happened.
Mhm.
It was something that I wanted to do, and before that, I had like some samples, and the original one was gold instead of like the silver look. It was different, but I didn't like it. So then I had to make changes to that. And it was through a website. So I went through Alibaba. You pretty much tell them what you want, how you want it. They do it for you, and then you just receive the product, and then you sell it. So that's pretty much what I did, and I launched it during the when everything happened, because I was also working on a home workout, like a free guide, so you can use that with the bands. So then I just launched that. It hit perfect. Like I did not even plan this, but it hit perfect because everybody started working now at home, and it was because the gyms were closing. So I felt like that was a good way to keep people healthy and keep them active, to keep working out.
No, definitely. I think it was, especially you need someone to guide you. And I think, especially here in Napa, I think you were the person for that, for women at least. Because, like I said, my girlfriend, my sister had the bands, and I'm sure a lot of people more. I see it pop up on my story every now and then, but that's cool. But backtracking a little bit more, tell us how this passion for the gym started. Did it just start out of nowhere, or did you kind of started progressing as you started your journey itself? When did this start?
So when I was younger, it was like when I was in I'd say late elementary, like towards sixth grade. I started looking up on YouTube workout videos, and I would just do them. And I didn't have a specific goal, or I wasn't doing it for like, because I wanted to lose weight or yada yada. It was mostly because I don't know, I was intrigued by it because the way it started was pretty funny because I was YouTubing how to twerk, and then um, and then I came across this fitness instructor because she was super good. The way she taught it, I really liked it because I'm also into dancing. So
Okay.
that's something that I really enjoy as well. And and she was also like a fitness instructor. So then I started to look at her workout videos and I started doing it. And that's pretty much how it started. I started to really love the way it was making me feel. And as I got to high school, I got into dance, and then that required you to like be healthy, be strong. So I always try to like stay healthy or wanting to feel healthy, especially I just fell in love with the way it makes you feel because like once you do it, like you feel good energy, you feel good about yourself. It's a great way to get started with your day. So then in high school I did my senior, the senior project.
Yeah, yeah, I did a senior project too. That's
So
probably we were probably one of the last generation to do it,
I think
actually.
so, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I did that, and I did it on personal training because I wanted to see how that field is because I was into like being active. So I really enjoyed it, and I ended up training my brother for the first time. Like he was the very first person I trained, and that was fun.
Younger, I'm guessing, right? He's younger.
Yeah, he's my little
Okay.
brother. Yeah,
Okay.
he's not so young, but he's little to me.
I see it. I see it. You're the oldest of your siblings?
I'm the second oldest.
Oh, second
I
oldest.
still
Okay.
have an older brother.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that, I went into college and then I gained hella weight. I gained like 30 pounds or something. Yeah. Because I was like moving and then I was in school and it was kind of hard to manage everything with school and working full time, being at school full time. So that was really difficult and trying to manage. So I started eating out like every single day with my friends. We would go to Applebee's. And so then I just gained a lot of weight and I wasn't working out as much, and I stopped dancing for a while too. So after that I started to feel super insecure and I wasn't happy with myself. You notice the difference
Mm.
when you gain, you feel that difference and you just want to do something to feel better. So I struggled for a while and like not knowing like what to do or how to even proceed. I knew I wanted this, but I didn't know how to get there. So that's when I started reaching out for help. When you don't know how to do something, you want to reach out for help. So that's what I did. And I I know Lena was in doing this with you too.
Yeah, yeah. Lino came up on the podcast.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my cousin. So I reached out to him and he started telling me about more about nutrition. And as I was going into school for that as well, like during that time, it was just like my learning process. I went to school and I ended up just applying the knowledge and then I started to lose weight. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. Just wanting to feel better and healthier and stronger. It came down to that.
Of course, of course. Now that you say you went to school for it, was this at the Napa Valley College? You took like nutrition classes, or what kind of classes you were taking?
Yeah, so I majored in nutritional science. Well, originally it was kinesiology because I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist at first,
Mhm.
but then I changed it to nutritional science because I wanted to steer more into like being a dietitian. And because I was like, okay, what do I mostly need help on? I was like, I want to learn more about nutrition so I can help other people apply that as well. So then I I was in school for that. I graduated with my associates in math and science. And then I was also interning as a personal trainer here in Napa at Tenacious Fitness. It was like it's a private one-on-one training, and that's where I learned a lot. And it was good. But then I thought I didn't want to continue with personal training. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Um, but then I started I got I started training at InShape, and that's when I started getting more into personal training again. And I also got my certificate. So I stopped school. I was thinking about continuing, but then I started to see that you can become like this and you can do an online coach as well and do personal training. So that started to interest me more, and I just got my certificate. It's a fitness online coaching academy, and pretty much it's about nutrition, business, workout programs, and I also had to get my personal training certificate. So then I just have the certificates to do what I do now.
Okay, so yeah, so you got your AA pretty much at the
Mhm.
community college level, but you
Yeah,
still had to get your other certificate besides
yeah.
that.
And if I want to go back to school to continue like the dietitian, I can.
Okay, okay.
Some
What like
people, yeah. What was that?
your bachelor's? You would get like your bachelor's on that, or what would you be
Yeah,
getting?
I would, but I think I like this now.
Mhm.
It tells you straight up what you need to know, and then you just help your clients.
Got it.
And not having to go to school and like pay so much money for school.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like this career path doesn't require me to do that as much.
Hmm.
But obviously I do want to keep learning, but there's other ways to do it, like going on seminars and all of that and reading.
No, yeah, definitely college. I know a lot of people say, you need college for this, but this is a career that you really don't need college. It's really your own knowledge and some knowledge that you grab from others. And obviously, I think the biggest one is probably you don't even have to go to college. You just pretty much could Google, what's the nutrition facts? What's the best thing for that? Obviously, if you have a book, it's better. But I'm sure you learned a lot with the macros and micros and all that. I just took nutrition last semester, and
Mhm.
that was a pain in the ass. It took me down pretty much. I couldn't understand some concepts,
Yeah.
but I think you start understanding them when they affect you. For example, I think I have SIBO. It's something with your small intestine. Uh, that really pretty much it's overgrowth of bacteria. And so I've been eating a little bit too much cheese or corn, so I'm still trying to figure it out. But it took me that process, it took me that challenge so I could actually research about it, like what is this,
Uh-huh.
what's affecting me. And so that's when I went back into my book and was like, oh, okay, this is what's going on, this is what I'm
Yeah.
missing out. And sometimes that's what it is, but I'm sure you've gained more than that, since you know your stuff pretty well, and you have to tell your expertise to others or women when they ask you, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's important to know that way. Knowing you know how to help. Like once you
Mhm.
know what the problem is, then you try to figure out the solution to that. And
Yeah.
then,
And so what would you say is one of your prime struggles that you had to overcome in order to get to where you are right now? What's something that really was bothering you and you couldn't make it out of, or at least you thought of, and then you succeeded?
well, there is plenty. I would say like the first one, it started like from my household. Like
Mhm.
I lived in a negative environment. So like stepping out of that and trying to find the positive in that is what really like made me who I am today. So like seeing a lot of like negativity and being around that made me not want to be that. So
Mhm.
then that gave me that push to like wanting to spread positivity, wanting to be um no, telling people that it's going to be okay, that you can see the positive, and not be so consumed with the negative, because when you just consume yourself with that, it's hard for you to keep moving forward. So that was like one of the biggest ones, um, going through that. I wouldn't go into details, but it's just pretty much like living in a negative household. And after that was getting going through a tough separation with someone that I was with for years. Like, so that was hard to overcome, as
Mhm.
I lost the personal training job, and then I left another job that I had. So I was pretty much, I felt like I didn't have control over my life. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
It
yeah.
felt like shit, what am I gonna do now?
Mhm.
Um, but going through that, all those changes, and then moving twice, like that was difficult mentally. And but it was a reminder of like that I'm in control of my life, that I can take charge and I can keep moving forward and just taking action. But you know what? Sometimes you do need to take a little bit of time for yourself, and that's important, because then that's how you recharge, and that's how you can step forward in order for you to like help others, if that's the goal. In that case, that was my goal. Like, my goal is to impact people, to help people mentally, physically, and in order for me to do that, I have to be good myself. So taking that pause and learning that it's okay to take that pause in order for you to move forward.
It definitely sounds like a big process, and obviously everyone's impacted. Everyone has their story like you do, right? So people have to say that it was not all, all shiny at first or whatever. You did struggle, whether it was outside of your personal stuff, outside the gym or inside the gym or whatnot. But it does take, people always have that little chip on their shoulder that doesn't like to move forward until they let go of some stuff. But sounds like obviously you're doing great now. I think if you look back 3 years from now, you where you are now, you could say you've succeeded, right? You've done what you could, and obviously you got out of that state.
Mhm.
But in this case, what tips do you have for women that I know a lot look up to you here in Napa, and some that haven't even got started, and they're always like, I want to be doing that, but how do I get started? What tips do you have for them? For
With
example, like you.
like with fitness, or like,
Yeah, with fitness or overall starting the journey of this fitness, of getting in shape and either gaining or losing weight.
I would say start with your why. Like, dial in, like, why do I want this change? Because I see that the biggest struggle that I hear from like clients or potential clients, or like just people who tell me, is that motivation and time are the biggest ones that I see a lot, that stops them from wanting to get where they want to get. So if you dial in your why, and you know why you want that change, it's going to be not easier but smoother. So you can look back and be like, okay, this is why I want my change, and I'm not going to depend on the motivation to see that, or like to put in the work to get there. So dial in your why, and then having a plan. So if you need help with the plan, that's where you reach out for help. Like, personally, I reached out for help too. When you don't know how to do something, it's best to reach out to somebody who does know. That way, you know how to get there, and it's a smoother ride, instead of trying to like guess and overdo it, and then not want to continue doing it, and then you fail, and then you don't want to keep doing it because you lose that motivation. So, it's good to dial into your why, having a plan, having a support system, somebody who is helping you, keeping you accountable, giving you the knowledge that you need, and then just planning your time around that. So a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have time. I always do this or that," and it's like we all have 24 hours in the day. It's about how you manage it and how you prioritize your day. Then I guess it's not that important for you if you're not wanting to put in that work, if you're not wanting to schedule in that slot. I like to block out my days, into like what I'm going to do, because that's what keeps me organized and like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I just go, 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 go. You know, you gotta have that tunnel vision of where you want to go, that vision, and then you just go, go, go.
Manifesting, yeah, and I think that's one of the principal struggles of a lot, or not struggles, like you said, excuses for people like, I don't have that time. It's really, we don't put that effort. If you really want something, I think we've clearly learned, at least us, between fitness and some other things, for example my education, if we
Yeah,
really want it, we're gonna do it, right? If we don't, then obviously we put things to the side. But
exactly.
this is one of the things, like, you need consistency with, if we agree on here. uh
Yeah, yeah, definitely consistency for sure. You got to make time for it.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
about making time.
So, for example, what are some myths? This is something I really wanted to get you on the show because for this particular reason. What are some myths for women that they say, oh, you could do this and you lose belly fat faster. You could do this and you lose it, and you'll gain weight faster, a bigger booty, which is in this case, I feel like a lot of women, are interested in that. At least my girlfriend is, she wants to, look better, right? So
Yeah.
what are some myths that you've heard and clients come to you like, hey, Yadira, if I do this, is it true? Because I find that fascinating how women are a little bit different than guys. We can't do certain things. You guys could do it, and vice versa, right? So
Mm.
any myths out there?
Well, there's plenty. There's plenty, and for me to cover all of them, uh, would probably be a lot. But there's no need to complicate fitness and health. You know, it's
Mhm.
pretty simple and straightforward once you learn. For example, like if you want to lose belly fat, um, you need, or like change your body composition. That's pretty much what it is. It's like dropping your body fat percentage and gaining muscle. So in order for you to do that, you need to change your nutrition. I feel like that's the biggest one. And obviously with some kind of resistant training as well. And also taking in consideration of like your sleep, your recovery, and your stress, because that also um, impacts it. So I would say knowing your maintenance, once you know your maintenance calories, which means eating eating what you burn in a day, eating in a deficit, and then having a balance with your macronutrients. So your macronutrients is like your protein, your carbs, and your fat. And people think that one of the myths is like, oh, I got to stay away from carbs, or I got to stay away from fat because it's fatty. But it really, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to that extent of like restricting yourself from certain things, or like I can't eat out anymore. Like I used to think that. I used to think
Mhm.
that, oh, you know what? I'm not going to eat out anymore if I want to lose weight. And it's not necessary, because it's not realistic for you to maintain those results, or like keep keep doing it. So you have to find something, a lifestyle, see it as a lifestyle first of all, so you can apply that and then continue with it, because you don't want to do a certain diet and then go back to your old habits. You know what I mean? So you want to find something that you can stick to so you can maintain those results and keep seeing better ones as well, like hitting that goal. And is there a specific myth that you hear?
No,
Like,
man, I think usually it's just when I see stuff like that, I kind of just scroll down, or when I hear it, I'm trying to like debunk it, like, I'm not too
yeah,
sure. Obviously,
me
the
too.
cardio one is probably the one I hear the most, is that women don't really need that much cardio. Is that 100% true, you'd say, or 50-50?
I see cardio as a tool. So like I see it as a tool to help you with fat loss, and there's no need to do like super extreme cardio. You know, if you want, you can just add it as a tool.
Yeah, because I think primarily since I'm the oldest sibling, and usually I've done a lot of soccer, mostly running. I was a runner in my earlier days, but my female cousins and just the ones I know overall would ask me, hey, how did he do this? How did he lose weight? how do you do blah blah blah. But coming me as a male and telling them do this, run a lot like I did, and don't eat any sugars and just strictly stay to sandwiches, because that's what I would do, and
Mhm.
you'll be fine. It's not going to work out for them. And my cousin called me out. He's like, "Hey, you can't be taking a word from a guy. Go, there's a lot of females that know their stuff." I was like, "You're right. Yeah, I think females, especially someone like yourself, will probably have better advice, on losing weight and stuff like that." But no, yeah, they got me in trouble because I was telling them what to do. I was coaching them in a way how I know how to coach. But I'm really big on the fit and on the cardio thing myself, because I had to prepare. I'll take my volleyball girls, for example. I made them chants for Redwood, and I wasn't even a good volleyball coach, but my ethic was you need to be in shape. So I made them do push-ups, burpees, a lot of running, and they beat everyone. They beat Harvest, Silverado, and AC, and no one could beat AC back in that day. So I was pretty proud of myself. But not all women respond the same way to cardio. Obviously, some do better strictly what would you call it? Just weights and calisthenics.
Yeah, it just depends on your goal too, It depends where you're at with your fitness level también. So it just, and if you're an athlete, that would be different. That would be different. The training, all of it would be different. So that's why it's good to like reach out for help so you can customize something to you, to your liking, to your lifestyle, and something that you can maintain.
No, yeah, and I think, like you said, that's where everyone starts. It's why do we want to do this? Where do I want to go? Do I want to go this way? Do I want to go that way? And I think that's important. So I think that conversation started. I went back to my sister and be like, "Yeah, you really got to tell me what you want to do. I can't tell you what to do if you don't tell me what you would want to do, right? Where do you want to be at for 5 years from now?" Is something I always ask them. Um,
Yeah, they need to have that vision, and then
mhm,
there's no need to buy all these fat burners too.
mhm,
Supplements. The way I get questions about supplements, and supplements are just what it is, supplementing your diet, and
mhm,
there's no need to go to that extreme, in order to reach fat loss.
mhm.
I personally take protein. Um,
Protein, whey protein, right? Or what is it?
it's Yeah, it's protein. It's whey protein, and it's pretty much just to help me fill in that gap that I need in order to reach my goal. So like I have a specific protein goal I need to reach, and if I need help, I bring out the protein shake, and it helps me get that protein in super quick. And some girls that reach out to me think it's gonna get them fat, because I
Mhm.
don't know why, but they think it's gonna get them fat.
Hmm.
And it's really just giving you that protein that you need for the day. And everybody needs it, not just people who work out.
No, yeah. What do you have a specific brand for those out there probably listening to this that I think they really want to know these details?
Yeah, it's first form. So I recently became one of their legionnaires. So it's pretty much like representing their company and um, using their products. And I just really like their quality. They're very known for like their good quality, and it tastes good. I really like the taste. And so that's one of my favorite. It's been one of my favorite. And I've tried a lot, and I feel like this one has been my favorite. And the reason like I decided to sign up with them is because they genuinely want to help others. And I feel like that's the biggest. Their core values really represent with my values as well.
Got it. And I'm guessing they have like different types of flavors and stuff like that. And you use it like in a shake, or how do you prep your protein? Or you just take a scoop and dial it up?
No, that's a pre-workout shot.
I've seen those. I've seen a lot of people do this. It's like, damn, how do they do that?
So I usually do it in a shake. That's like the quickest way for me to do it. It depends on the day, how my day is gonna look, or sometimes I throw it into my oats. It's either in my oats or I just shake it up in water and then I add some milk in it. You can do milk as well or just water too. It doesn't matter, but I just like the consistency of the mixture of both of them because it's not as like thick and it's not as watery. It's like a in between.
Okay, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'll have to get back to you more on that to get specifics because I'm sure you have it as a routine, but when you're trying to do that, you're like, man, what goes
Yeah.
where, you know? Yeah, I've done it with smoothies because that's easy. When I was a bartender, I would do a bunch of smoothies for people, and I would just add protein or no protein, just like Jamba Juice, right? And that's how I
Yeah.
got it. But I know there's different ways to prepare food and stuff like that, and I'm sure you have your own ways as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't make it complicated. I just give me that protein. I need to check it.
Of course, not in a scoop, like you said. That'd be
Oh no,
crazy,
no, no.
right?
That's a pre-workout.
So I know you have a bunch of stuff. You're busy all the time, but do you have anyone that helps you like manage the stuff, edit videos, the coaching? Do you use different platforms for this? Because I know it's a lot on your plate, but obviously if you manage it well, you're pretty much set.
Yeah.
You have a manager, or you're the one-time CEO?
I don't have a manager. So I have a support system like my family, my friends. They're the ones that it's mostly my friends that push me to they they're the ones that I have a couple people that are on my ass like Yadira, let's go. But then I also have like my support, the that support me in other ways, like encouraging me, or for example, my siblings, they're the ones that push me emotionally, I would say,
Okay.
because I want to set an example for them in that kind of like aspect, in that kind of perspective. And with coaching, I mean, I have a trainer because I'm getting ready for a competition. So
Okay.
I do have a trainer and I also have my nutrition coach.
They're the ones that really help you push through because obviously they help you answer questions that you need at times for different goals, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for programming specifically.
Now that you said you're going into competition, what kind of competition is this exactly?
It's a powerlifting competition. Have you ever
Powerlifting.
heard of it?
I heard of it, but I do not know exactly what it is. What do you
Yeah,
do?
it's pretty much you lift as heavy as you can for one rep. So you
Oh,
try to
snap.
go, so you get three tries and then you try to hit the heaviest weight you can for one rep.
Oh, wow.
But you have to have good form, otherwise it doesn't count.
And you're doing one specific thing, either, chest or,
Yeah,
squats.
so it's your bench, your squat, and your deadlift.
Okay, so just those three categories.
Yeah.
And so that's what you've been concentrating on then.
Yeah, so my programs have been focusing on that and how to improve those lifts.
That's cool. I didn't know that. And so let's go a little bit into details, probably hyping you up for this. What's the most you could bench?
Um, I've done 135.
135. Wow, I'm horrible at math, but how many plates is that
It,
on both
it,
sides?
it's a plate, one plate.
Play 45s on each side.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure you're doing good, or do you struggle right now? How are you on that?
It's like a up and down because I struggled a lot in the beginning because my competition was supposed to be the week everything shut down.
Oh, wow.
So that was supposed to be the day of my competition. So after that, I kind of was all over the place mentally because that's when everything started hitting the fan too. So I
Hmm.
was all over the place mentally, physically. I didn't know what to do. Like, do I keep doing powerlifting? Do I go back to bodybuilding? Because I was doing bodybuilding before that. So then I was like mixing both, and then I wasn't consistent, and so then that was just kind of hard, but I'm starting to get back on the roll now,
That's
like
good.
with 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 the powerlifting, and then I have a booty day where I just work on my
That's good, right? Gotta take care of that.
you got to make sure your butt is strong.
So going into squats now, that's something you're going to be concentrating on too, right? Is that going to be one of your stronger sets?
um I I personally like the deadlifts more than the squats.
Deadlifts. Is that the one where you like
The
kind of
one,
hunch back and grab?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I like those more than the squats. The squats, they have to get really mentally prepared for them.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well, with all of them, but that one,
Hmm.
uh, it's like
What's
a
your max on that?
on the squats,
Yeah.
it's 265.
So now that's 2 plates, I'm guessing.
That's two plates and something. Hold on.
I haven't hit the gym in I think in a year now, but like I would just put weights out of way sometimes, and then I would be like, "All right, buddy, let me see if I could do this. You got me," and then we'll go from there, right? I'm bad at
If
the
you
gym. I do,
fall, okay, whatever.
yeah. Like,
It
geez,
happens. It's
I,
60 by bed, not 265. And that's
okay,
two plates, a 10, a 5, and a 2.5.
okay.
And then my
That's
deadlifts is 280, which is two plates, a 25, and a 2.5.
okay. That's decent right there. That's fairly decent. And you're gonna upscale it, or is that it? Are you gonna keep
No,
adding
yeah.
one?
Yeah. So
Jeez.
the in the competition, I want to beat that number.
Okay. There you go. And you're competing against obviously more women, or is it the men and women?
No, it's just women.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Well, now going back to your brand, what are your goals with this? Uh Going further into the future, what's your goals? What do you envision yourself doing with the what you got going on right now?
So I definitely want to grow the bands for sure. Like that's something that I want to keep growing. I don't know exactly how or what exactly. I'm still like in the process of brainstorming and trying to see what is exactly is it that I want to do with that brand, and also just growing my personal training and online coaching. Just continue growing that, and yeah. I have
Uh,
other goals, just pretty much that relate into like fitness and like wanting to grow in different areas, like mixing like dance and fitness somehow.
mm,
Because
mm-hmm.
I enjoy dancing. It's something that I really love to do. So I want to figure out how I can do that. But also mainly my main focus is helping other women to feel confident, empowered, and help them get where they want to get. Because sometimes people just, instead of working out, they like you work out, but like sometimes they just want somebody to talk
Mm-hmm.
to, and then so that's nice having just being able to grow that. That's like my biggest motivation because I see their results, and then that pushes me to keep wanting to do it.
So that was another question I was going to ask you. How do you see what do you think makes you stand out as a role model and inspiration for other women? I'm sure it's been easy for you to connect with them because you could relate a lot to them, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like when they talk to me, I feel like they're able to express themselves, feel comfortable with expressing with whatever is going on with their life. They start to open up more to me, and I feel like that's where I that's where it makes me feel more happy because I'm making a bigger impact in their life. When I know I'm making a bigger impact in that way, that is not just physically, it's not just to look a certain way, it's also like what is going on with them mentally and how to overcome that.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects to that, and I think the mentality is one of the biggest one when you're going into fitness, right? You got to be on a somewhat decent spot uh, to be able to lift in a sense. Um, but for this matter, I'm guessing um, what are some things that perhaps you would tell women, don't stop there. There's more to it. What are some inspirational quotes you would say from yourself?
I don't think I have like a
Mhm.
specific one, it's sometimes it just comes out whatever situation they are in, but it mostly comes down to like understanding that you're going to have bumps in the road. Like you can't get rid of that. That's going to happen. And it's about how you're going to face those problems and continuing to progress from that. So pretty much also digging back into your why, like your motivation, like what is pushing you to wanting to get up from bed, or like wanting you to be better, like what is pushing you to proceed with your goals. So pretty much having them, like reminding them that, and also understanding that it's okay to not be okay también. Like that's another one where I have to say a lot, like it's okay to not be okay. You're gonna have those moments and it's okay, just learn from it. You just gotta soak it in, see how you can learn from it, and move on. You don't want to stay stuck.
Sounds like you're definitely, everyone's situation, changes the dynamic of how things are going to be. How many clients do you have at this moment?
At this moment I have three.
Enough to get you by at least, right?
Yes, enough
Hmm.
to get me by. But there's definitely room for growth.
Hmm.
Definitely room for growth. And um, I forgot what I was gonna say.
You're like 20, 30 girls there in line.
No, no, it's not a lot. It's like 12. It's not too much right now, especially
Hmm.
because I have this other job. So I've been like juggling around that as well. But I definitely want to grow it. It's something that I want to grow. I didn't think I wanted to, like the personal training, but I started getting more people wanting me to help them in that area. So I think I want to grow that more. And the only scary thing about that is I like if a client quits, like
Hmm.
I'm pretty much like, okay, what do I do now?
Mario Madre.
That's the scary part,
Mhm.
but there's solutions, like I said, and you got to figure it out, find different ways, not just have one way. Look at your options.
Do you do you coach males too or strictly females?
I have coached males, but it's mostly females.
Hmm. Hmm. You prefer females, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think I kind of asked you about your brand, what's your goals to it, but for yourself, where do you see yourself? I always ask this question, right? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, as you're as a person
And
growing up? Hmm. Do you see yourself getting out of Napa, staying in Napa?
um, you know, I wouldn't mind moving out of Napa, but I like Napa. It's
Hmm.
my hometown. It's where I grew up, and I like how simple it is. So I feel like I would, in 5 years, I would probably still live here. Have
Okay.
my own home. I really
Nice.
want with a home gym where I can take clients in there and
Mm-hmm.
work out, and then I can work out whenever I want.
Mm-hmm.
So having that for sure, and just beginning to see more growth with my business and everything.
That sounds like a great plan, I'm sure. I think at least for everyone, every gym head, they want a gym for themselves at home. They just wake up, start doing some reps early in the morning, whenever you want. That's something I've wanted to, but like you said, it takes time and effort and money, right? Money. I think things are weights. I've seen them gone up crazy through this COVID thing. They've been going for a lot of money. So I think the only place I see them go for cheap is on OfferUp, but they're all rusty and shit. So I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely an investment. That's the way I
Mm,
look at it. Yeah.
definitely, but
Yeah.
the good investment for
Yeah.
sure. So let's move on to the media questions because I know you got to go too. But let's look at first media question that we have. People that've been tuned in on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. We put up questions for Yadira to answer. But my main one, my personal one, I wanted to know really why I got you here was what is in the pimp juice? How could I make that? I see it every day. It's like, man, that looks good, but what is in there? What should I put that in my stomach?
You most definitely should.
Okay. What does it do?
So it helps your digestion. So you definitely want that in your stomach.
Oh
And
yes,
with
I mean,
that, because I put greens and then I put reds and then I put collagen. I don't always put the collagen, but um, majority of the time I do. And then it's just pretty much helping you for your gut health, your inner health, your bones, your muscles, the collagen. That's the collagen. Your bones, your muscles, your skin, and it has protein too. So like it's a good. I like to start my day like that because I get my protein in, I get my greens in, my vitamins, my minerals, and then it's antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. So it's a good way. I feel like it's just a good way to get started with your
Mm.
day. And I just add some water and I mix it all together.
Where could we get these supplies at? You said it's 3 components then total.
Yeah. So I have a link. It's from First Form.
Okay.
And
On your LinkedIn page, I'm guessing.
yeah,
Uh,
and then it's free shipping too if you use that link.
okay. Okay. So it just comes all together, and then you just pretty much do it like yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it doesn't come together. I buy it separately
Oh, separately each one.
and then I put it together.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really want to try that. Does it taste good?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
I
I'm gonna
like
take your
it.
advice
I
on that.
like it. I personally like it. And I had some people try it too and they like it too.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking for something different. Since my caffeine is out, I can't do caffeine no more. I've been on without it, and I've learned to cope with it. But I was like, I need some replacement. If it's not a tea, I
Yeah.
need that. Once I started seeing your pictures, I was like, this might be the move.
This is the one. It's yeah, it's definitely a natural energy too. So that will it's a good way to start your day. And sometimes I don't start it like that, but I end it like that.
Well, and you do that Monday through Sunday or just Monday through
Yeah,
Friday?
every day, every day.
So you already had yours for today or not yet?
Not yet. I will
Yeah.
soon. After this,
Okay.
I will.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll stay tuned for that. And okay, another one I got is you have a clothing brand, or do you have a plans of opening up a clothing brand or anything like that?
I do.
You
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Okay. And there's more details coming up for that too, I'm guessing soon.
Not soon.
Hmm.
I don't know. I might make it soon.
Well, we got the pimp juice out of the way now. Let's start seeing other questions that they asked you here. Favorite PNE, what is that?
PNE? Oh,
For
pre-workout.
oh, favorite okay. What is that?
Well, currently, it's the one that the first form. It's ignition. I mean,
Ignition.
not ignition. My bad. Megawatt.
Megawatt. Okay. And you
I like
just
it because it doesn't make me feel super jittery, but I feel super focused. Like I noticed like a shift in focusing in my workouts more. Like I'm just like
you sure that there's no Adderall instead of pre-workout in that? It sounds like you're focused. You're like, oh my god. Looks like I would want to try that. We'll probably put that in the description or whatnot. Well, that's cool. Now we know as well. I think the big one I should have asked this earlier is someone asked this: how do you stay motivated when you're not feeling a progress?
um it's difficult when you're not seeing progress, and I understand like how that might feel, but you just have to think about, okay, I'm not seeing progress, what do I do now? That's what you have to ask yourself. Remind yourself like, okay, this is not where it's going to end. This is not meaning that this is it, this is the end for me. You got to see it in a way of like, okay, how am I going to see progress? How can I see progress and proceed from there? And always the motivation part, go back to your why.
Mhm.
Why am I here? Why do I want this?
That brings us to our next question right here. Someone asked, "What is your why?"
My why?
Mm-hmm.
My why is impacting people.
Impacting
See,
people.
impacting people and seeing their transformation. And that's what really pushes me to like continue wanting to help.
Yeah,
Because I know like the good feeling of like doing something you want.
Definitely. No, I think transformations are big. I think I've seen a lot on TikTok, and I think they fascinate me. Someone changing their body completely, they completely turn into someone else, which is a good thing, right?
Mm.
I think that fascinates me. I think that's one of the big things that if I was to get into that, it's the transformation. Want to see the growth of what the human body could actually do.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Um, I think right here is what are your goals? Someone asked.
My goal is to get stronger
Mhm,
for sure. Like my fitness goals is to get stronger, hit those new PRs for the competition, and lose body fat percentage as
mhm.
well. And as far as business, wanting to just continue growing.
Growing, growing.
Yeah.
And I
I want
think
to
you said you want to get stronger. And we probably should have asked this too, but someone is asking it already. What are some great proteins to burn fat? Three proteins to grow muscle suggestions. Uh,
So yeah, yeah. So the the protein supplement proteins are not necessarily like for you to burn fat.
mhm,
It's mostly for like I mentioned before, like to fill in that gap of getting your protein for the day. And like if your goal is to build muscle, you definitely want to hit your protein goal. Even if you don't lift, you want to hit that goal.
got it. And I think this is the last question. I'll probably combine it because one says just strictly motivation, but the other one I haven't read is we'll combine it now. Motivation to how to get some ass 101. I wonder who asked that.
Well, it's pretty much lifting heavy, pushing your body. You gotta lift some weights, not be scared of like pushing yourself, pushing your body. And obviously also like your nutrition has to be um depending on where you're at with your fitness goals, but pretty much how you build muscle. It's pretty much at butt, it's muscle, glutes. So it's pretty much I went on a bulk. So I went on a cut, I lost the weight, and then I bulked. So I increased my calories. So you gotta eat. You gotta make sure you eat. You gotta feel your body and lift some heavy ass weights, pushing yourself. And yeah, it's pretty staying consistent doing that, knowing that it's going to take time, having patience, because you're not just going to grow it like that. So you just got to be consistent and be patient.
And de verdad, do you need weights or could you do this calisthenically, no weights necessary to grow your butt, or you could only do a certain extent to that?
A certain extent, I would say. Yeah, you can definitely push yourself more with weights because you're loading more resistance onto yourself.
Okay, yeah, that's something I've always struggled. I have always thought that you could do it without weights, but I think more and more I see is you need weights to
Yeah,
build bigger muscle.
you
Yeah.
can build muscle,
Hmm.
without weights, but it, you can build more with more weight. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm. And I'm sure it's a faster process in a way too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I'll start going to the gym for sure, or at least telling my girlfriend to go with me.
sure. Make it happen.
Yeah, well, that was one of the last questions from the media itself. But before we head out, like I said, I'm trying to build community here. You're the third girl, third female coming up on the show. I really appreciate it. Do you have any other words for the community here as a local, as a public figure now?
Well, I feel flattered now. But no, just thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure and it's really good to meet you. I love what you're doing, so just keep it up, and everybody else out there, do more of what you love, because life is short. Do more of what you love, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, and figure out how to get there and get there.
Well, thank you for all your advice. This indeed helped. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of women, and some of your, followers will check this out and see this as your personal story, right? But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a pleasure. Like I said, Yadira, thank you for coming on the show. Hopefully we could see you again when you're growing more. We'll see you probably after the contest if you don't mind, see how you did, and we'll explore that.
Yeah, for sure.
See if we could get more gym junkies in here too and go from there.
Alrighty, sounds good. Thank
well,
you.
well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Yadira, and stay
Thank
safe.
you
We'll have
too.
to enjoy this beautiful day. The sun's coming out at barely 8:30 o'clock right now. So yeah, we'll get going.
All
I'm
right.
gonna pause the recording now. Bye-bye.
Bye.